Okay. Setting up the meeting for YouTube Live. And we are live. Hey, everybody, you are watching and listening to the We Are Rizin podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin. I'm joined by my co-host down from the South with a loud mouth, Jay Christian Gary from Focus Fights.
Well, what's good, y'all? I'm also rocking a very tight for some odd reason Avengers t-shirt that's a little bit small for my taste. But still, though, we also got Jaywolf, our favorite Rizin and Bellator fan from all the way out in SoCal. How are you, sir?
Sir, thank you guys for having me on again. I really appreciate it. Love being here. Love the content you guys put up. Who else is putting up this awesome content for the Epic Rizin this weekend? I love it. You know what? I really appreciate you having me here and on every show that we do, and appreciate the fans listening. Also, on the previous show that we did, I forgot to mention one thing, so I want to get it done right now. Pride never die. Pride is Rizin. And of course, I'm talking about the almighty Pride FC, baby. Let's get this show going. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Jay, before we start off, Jay, how excited are you that Rizin basically did listen to the fans and they got us Landmark? I think a lot of us were worried that we weren't going to get Landmark too, but you were holding out that hopium, and you were right.
I love it. I got the pack. They offered this in the package deal. I hope they do that every single month. They offered a trigger and Landmark in a package deal. And I'm so happy that they have made Landmark available for us. And, you know, I hope this happens every month. The package deal with either a number event or a trigger event and the Landmark event. So, I mean, it's just great. I love it. I can't wait. And just the more fights, the better. I'm just disappointed. There's only 5 fights on these Landmark cards, but, you know, they're excellent fights, every single one of them. So I'm just
excited. This is a case of quality over quantity.
Oh, yes, that's right. Remember you were talking about that, Drew, saying that this is a quality over quantity card for sure, and you're absolutely right. And I just can't wait. I love this format too. Have we confirmed if it's in a cage yet, or you know that yet?
No, I haven't heard.
We don't know if it's gonna be in a ring or cage. We'll probably know by the time the show happens on Sunday, which I will probably be the main one up for, anyways. Even though I got something to go to the day before, but still,
I'll be up to you. You know me; I always watch it with you guys. I don't know how much longer I can watch live with you guys. I'm getting older, but man, I just love it. This is.
Think of it. Your body's going to tell you when to stop watching these shows that start at 11 p.m. Pacific time.
You know what? Which ones are probably the most difficult is the New Year's Eve ones, because those go till like 6, 7 in the morning here on the West Coast. So those are getting really hard to. I don't know how many more of those I'll be able to do. But I mean, as long as my body permits it, I'm going to be watching live with you guys every single time. I love it. I mean, you see what happened the previous couple of shows. We are getting the fighters are getting more and more acclimated to the superior rule set and throwing rules that now then I mean, dude, for the past previous shows, I mean, dude, there's been at least one Pride Rules finish almost every single show for the past like 4 or 5 shows, right? I mean, and you see the fights too. They have Pride Rules action, you know, practically all the fights. So it's just getting so much fun. I just love it. I think we're entering a new golden era this year. I really do.
Exactly. But, you know, the good thing about this fight card, other than the fact that it's going to be at an undisclosed location somewhere in Japan, probably in the underground bunkers, and the fact that it's going to be airing on Live Now at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. Contact your local... No, wait, actually, order the pay-per-view for $29.99, by the way, or $24.99, actually.
No, but if you buy individually, it's $16.99. So it's even less.
Right. So yeah, $17 for the pay-per-view or the bundle for $20. But still, point of the matter is, we got 5 fights on this card, you guys. We don't really have much to talk about other than, you know, let's try and get to it and breeze through it.
But we have to agree, you know, these are like all like 5. This is like, if you like, literally, these are like all 5 great fights that like I'm all interested in. I can't say like, no. Like I'm interested in all 5 of them. What do you say, Jaywolf?
I'm with you 100%. I'm invested in every single one of these fights, even the kickboxing fight I'm into. And I'm excited to see if it's going to be in the cage or not. It's like a little bonus surprise present. We're going to get the cage. I'm personally hoping that it's going to be in the cage, and I think it will be because Hajiwara was wasn't Hiramoto at Rizin 33 in the ring, calling out Hajiwara, saying let's do it in the cage at Landmark. So he was talking about the cage. So I'm guessing from his interview and also a couple of the tweets from the Epic Rizin English Twitter and translating Sakaki Barasan's, the CEO of Rizin, translated his sayings at the press conferences. They were talking like this is going to be a cage event. So I'm really excited to see where the event's going to be, what landmark the event's going to take place at, and if it's going to be in a cage.
I mean, look at that poster, like in the background that I have. What is that? I have that could just be a fight venue. Maybe it's just going to be like a little fight club, like some underground alley, Yakuza bar or something. I have no idea. Look at the craziness. Actually, have you ever seen the movie The Raid? This kind of looks like the movie The Raid. And this is like it looks like Hiramoto has to go up all 12 fights to get up to Suzuki to fight him.
Yeah.
Right. But still, maybe that could just mean that they're going to be fighting in a rock quarry or something.
Well, actually, I do have a theory. I think all these shows probably take place. Well, the last one, Landmark show, was so there's in Tokyo, you got Kurikan Hall and you got Tokyo Dome, and then you have this other smaller venues. But there's actually a third venue right near Tokyo, right near Kurikan Hall. Nobody uses it ever. I think they actually use it for one New Year's, what is it called? New Year's Bash or New Year's Dash for New Japan. I think they one time used that. Other than that, like it's never used for anything. But I wonder, like,
are you talking about the Ultra Ward General Gymnasium?
No. There's another venue. It's right near Kurikan Hall, like right across from the Kurikan Hall Prime venue. And nobody ever none of the places use it because for some reason it's absurdly expensive. I don't know why, but that's my theory that they might be using it for this one, that they used it for the last one. I don't know if we ever got confirmation on where the last one took place, but I think they might be using it for this one. That's my theory.
Like underground, like subway or something like that.
It's like an unused venue that just nobody. I don't know how to describe it. Like, what would be the equivalent of it?
I mean, for you, Andrew, wouldn't it be like Terminal 5?
Terminal 5 is a shitty, crappy venue. To be honest, it's a really like I guess that's like the kind of the idea. Yeah, I mean, looking at the Rizin Landmark Volume 1 Tapology, there's no they don't even list the venue, so they may not even have released it. So who knows?
Have we even seen footage of Landmark 1 yet? I mean,
sorry, was it
clips and descriptions of it?
Well, I think also because like nobody was paying attention to that show. That may be also a reason why. Maybe we'll get information on where this venue is, at least because we'll have English commentary. I presume from Joe Ferraro and Damian Brown.
Well, they're paying attention to the first one because remember, Azakura Action Bro was fighting in that one. What wasn't it? Mikura Azakura versus Hajiwara in that one?
Yeah, it was the mysterious show that we never got a chance to see. I don't think exists.
Like I saw still pictures of it. I think I saw a couple video clips of someone a Japanese fan videotaping their TV screen, and it looked like these like kind of like pillars or something. It was like some kind of like underground terminal, like some kind of train or something.
It might be that venue near Kurikan Hall. Again, I'm not 100% sure because like we said, we never got anything stateside from it as well, and I didn't look up anything on the Japanese websites.
Well, we're getting it now, and I can't wait to see what this venue is going to be. And like I said again, the surprise if it's going to be in the ring or the cage. I'm hoping for the cage because I mean you guys saw the 2 previous Rizin Trigger events. Did that Pride Rules in the cage bring the action as promised or what? man, that was awesome. I hope it's in the cage. I love it.
What about this?
Yeah.
Not necessarily a hybrid cage. So like, let's say like half cage, this side cage, this side cage, and then the other side is like a ring. Just some weird hybrid, like deformed xenomorph of a.
You mean like what M1 Global does, or I think there's a particular post out on the Rizin Reddit that said what it would be like if they were to have something similar to M1 Global, a ring with cage mesh.
So,
yeah.
I thought M1 does a combination where it's like the ring, the cage, and then the ring's inside, and then it's surrounded by the cage.
No. It's like three. It's the ropes. It's 3 ropes, and on the bottom rope to the floor is a cage mesh.
Oh no. We have a comment from listener, watcher June K. He's always here. We appreciate you tuning in, June K. He says, I think they announced that the ring will be used just yesterday.
Oh, well, you guys get what you want. You guys love the ring more than I do, but that's cool.
He says that they couldn't carry it in the cage to the venue from technical issues.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
If you think about it though, that a ring is actually probably easier because you just have to bring in the ropes and the floorboards. It's easy. The cage. Depending. That Rizin cage was actually pretty big. On the Trigger show, it looked really big, at least on camera. So I'm guessing, I'm not surprised. It's that that's why you rarely ever see like a cage that side in like a Japanese show. It's usually a smaller cage or depending on the venue, a ring sometimes.
So the venue must be some area where it's going to be enclosed. I wonder if it's on some kind of like on the poster there in some kind of like warehouse or something where they couldn't fit the cage in there. Like you were saying, it was too big, so they had to go with the ring. Because Sakaki was saying something about that, saying they were having technical difficulties getting the cage, trying to figure it out. So, and then thanks to that viewer or listener that told us that. That's awesome.
The other thing also is that I think the only people that can go to these landmark shows are fan club members. It's not like tickets are open to the public, I believe.
Yeah,
Sorry, good.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's like an exclusive deal.
So yeah, if you ever want to join the Rizin fan club, do it to go to these landmark shows that are on undisclosed locations that we never know about. Which is interesting. Listen, hey, you know what? In MMA, you gotta do something different than have fights. And listen, the idea of undisclosed location is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. The first Landmark Fight Club is you do not talk about where Landmark Fight Club is.
But one thing we're
enough about all that, you guys. Let's go ahead and get to the fights that are going to take place on the card.
Yeah, Chris, you want to take the first fight?
Yes, for sure. The first fight on this card will be a 139-pound clash between Deep Mainstay Kosuke Koro Terashima versus Pancrase Mainstay Takuma Masuda. Terashima 17-7-5 from Tokyo, representing Wajutsu Keshukai T Live. Masuda from MMA Dojo Reliable, 6-1 overall. Now, when it comes down to this fight, I actually popped a little bit because I've seen Kolo compete on a deep show before. The dude came out in full-blown Rambo regalia, like he was ready to go into combat or something.
Nice.
But the dude is an action fighter. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a split record down the middle after 29 fights. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Andrew?
Oh, well, here's the thing. We talk about, the last Trigger show, people like Daisuke Endo and then other fighters that they bring in who are like perfect journeymen. And if you wanted to look up journeyman in the MMA dictionary, Koro would clearly be in the middle because he's been fighting. He'd be right there, like his picture would be right there. He's been fighting for 1,000 years. He's, fought like famous people and then famous MMA fighters, and then, loses to them, but then he'll beat, people that are even on the lower rung than him. So he's a perfect definition of a journeyman. I mean, look at the record, 17, 17, and 5. Oh, such a that is like the perfect journeyman record, in my opinion.
Hey, we've seen journeymen can be good fighters as well. Look at that Anthony Smith in the UFC. Dude's consistently been top 10. I mean, and that guy's the definition of journeyman as well too. So you never know. Journeymen, they can put on good fights. Like Jay Krish was saying, he's a good action fighter. And it looks like the guy he's fighting, Takuma Masuda, is a 6-1 prospect. So that's going to be a pretty good bout. Good, hopefully a lot of action.
That was actually my big question. I want to ask you both this. You know how the Trigger shows were? I feel like this match was supposed to be on a Trigger show, because this is all that was what Sakaki Bar talked about. It's like, oh, we want to have prospects versus people that are older, or fighters that are winding down, and then giving them another shot. I feel like this should be for a Trigger card, perhaps.
Maybe this is clearly the type of bout that Sakaki Barasan likes. He loves putting on these bouts, like you were saying. That's what the theme of Trigger was. Maybe it was just like a spillover from the Trigger event to kick off the landmark show. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but I mean, you're absolutely right. But I think that's just what Sakaki Bar, he likes to book those types of fights. So I don't know if it was meant for a Trigger show or not, but maybe it was just a spillover. But I think it's gonna be. I like those too. I mean, remember if you remember history books in the Gladiator days, they used to love matching up the different matchups with like the guy with the net and the trident and versus the smaller fighter. I forget what they're called right now. Sorry about that, but you know what I'm talking about. They have different matchup styles where they match the smaller guy with the bigger guy and the different types of gladiators. That's the same thing Sakaki Barasan's doing here with the matching up a journeyman with the prospect, like he likes to do with the Trigger events. So maybe he's just trying to bring some of that Trigger magic to the landmark show to kick it off. Maybe that's my guess.
Here's the other big question I have for this fight. So I'll tell you this about Koro. I've watched a bunch of his deep fights. Here's the thing. Even though he's a journeyman, here's the thing. If he wins, he finishes you, usually by submission. He is really good at grappling as long as he's a superior grappler. Now, if in the case of his opponent, Masuda, I don't know. What do you think? Is this the right fight? Will this fight tell us if Koro wins? Is it telling us that he's still got a lot left in the tank, or I guess if Masuda wins, clearly this is a guy who we should be paying attention to. Jay, after you.
Jay Krish or Jaywolf?
Oh, sorry, Jaywolf. I got a Jaywolf. Jaywolf.
Oh no, I'm in total agreement with you. If the journeyman wins, he's clearly still got some left in the tank. And if the young prospect gets him, then that's clear. The prospect is ready to go up to the bigger shows, bigger matchups. So, I mean, you're absolutely right, Drew. And you're saying the journeyman fighter he's got superior grappling, but remember he's fighting on the superior rule set here, and that there's a lot of strikes that are available in the superior rule set of Epic Rizin that are not available in other shows. So I mean, when he's grappling, going for armbar, he can do a stomp to the face defense. You guys know. Remember what we also seen with the women recently in Epic Rizin. They were showcasing now the up kicks on the ground. Up kicks are a game changer. That's how Siki Izawa, one of the hottest prospect, actually the hottest prospect of 2021, especially for WMMA. That's how she took out Yokohama Saki, one of the top lighter weight fighters for women, period. And she got her with up kicks. So, I mean, the superior rule set just changes the game and adds so much more, the makes a fighting environment so much more dynamic. So if he's going to be grappling, he better watch out for them up kicks and knees on the ground. So, I mean, it could go either way. It's going to be really good. I'm excited to see this. This is why Sakaki Barasan put this one on the first one of the landmark to kick it off, because it's going to be action packed. I can tell.
Right. But the thing, though, here's the thing. When it comes down to Takuma Matsuda, and I'm basically doing fly-by-night research, looking at this as we go along, He's currently riding he's 6-1, right?
Yeah.
He's currently riding a 6-fight winning streak, but only 2 of those fights he won were via submission, both via rear naked choke. A rear naked choke submission finish over Hayato Tanaka back in November of 2019, and a rear naked choke submission finish over Motonori Takiguchi at Deep Osaka Impact last April. So, I mean, obviously the rest of his fights are wins via decision, 2 unanimous, 1 majority, 1 split. I just don't know if Takuma is going to have what it takes to finish this man off, Koro Teleshima. But if he does go to the ground, I won't be surprised if he locks him in a rear naked choke and call it a night.
Really, you think it's going to be a grappling battle? Oh, you never know. I mean, those are fun too. So we'll see.
I mean, to be honest, 2 of his wins are via submission, 2 via rear naked choke, by the way. So you just never know.
And also, here's the other thing I like to point out. This is the year of the older fighter. You know, we saw Ogi Kubo, got the big win at New Year's Eve. Look at the streak that Daisuke Nakamura is on right now. Just submitting fools and knocking them out as well, almost knocking them silly. So could this be the year of the older veteran fighters making their way back onto the main stage, kind of using their veteranness to kind of just like because you see the thing about MMA fighters now is that they're all good at everything, but sometimes when you're all good at everything, you're not excellent at everything at some of those things. So maybe Koro's grappling, maybe that's his foundation, and just because that's his foundation, he's better at that than Masuda and can out grapple him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Teleshima's only 33 compared to Masuda, who's 25. If anything, Koro, not Kosuke, but Koro in this case, he's only getting older by every fight. Matsuda ain't getting any younger. He's looking to basically prove that youth is better than age over this.
I mean, what do you think about that? Jaywolf, that maybe just the veteran grappler who's found that's his foundation. He can be better than someone who's just an all-around great MMA fighter.
Well, maybe that might be what happened, and that's why they match them up, and that's why they have the fights to see what happens. And you're absolutely right. At the veterans, if his game is based on grappling, then that's what he's probably going to go do. And if the prospect is just an all-around fighter, then at the veterans grappling is a little bit better than the prospects, and he's going to be able to beat him. But again, like I was saying, the wild card here is a superior rule set of Epic Rizin.
Here's the other thing about this fight as well. I think this fight is also an answer, or at least I think Rizin is desperate. I think with Tetsuya Taira going to the UFC, there was a big play for him besides UFC. Other places were trying to get him like Rizin, and he chose UFC. So I think Rizin now is going to be digging deep for fighters that are on that, or that appear to be on the same level as Taira. Maybe, and that's why they're doing this fight, because they want to see if maybe Masuda can be their Taira, perhaps.
That's probably it, Drew.
And the thing that gets me about this particular fight and about Koro in particular is that many people didn't notice. He once fought Mikuru Asakura, and that was back at Deep 83rd Impact in April 2018. But still, though, you are right about Masuda, though. Considering the fact that Tatsuro Taira is in the UFC, and they're looking, obviously Rizin's looking for those top guys at flyweight, bantamweight, and especially featherweight. Masuda's going to end up being the guy one day.
Mm-hmm. Well, possibly. Here's who else Koro has fought and lost to: Taichi Nakajima, the current Pancrase bantamweight champion. Like you said, Mikuru Asakura, Kenta Takizawa, who was in the bantamweight Grand Prix. Masakatsu Ueda, old Masakatsu Ueda beat him.
He
Shoji,
defeated Shimizu.
and Shoji as well. I'll say this though, Koro, he has a win over a fighter. This is his first fight ever. He beat a fighter named Ice Ice.
Oh God!
Ice baby.
Stop! Don't even think about getting off into that Vanilla Ice reference, dude.
No. But I mean, so let's finish talking about this fight. So, Jaywolf, first to you. Who do you pick, and how do you think this fight goes?
I'm picking the young prospect because I mean, even though the savvy veteran journeyman is based grappling, I think the young prospect he's got grappling as well because Jay Chris is bringing up that he's got 2 submission wins already, so he knows how to grapple. So I'm saying the youth and the all around all around skills that he's got, like Jay Chris was saying, he's got a little bit of everything. He's going to be able to get it done over the savvy veteran with the grappling. He's going to be able to utilize the spear rule set, throw strikes that the veteran's never seen before, like up kicks, or if he tries to get him an arm bar, do a stomp defense, stuff like that. And I just think the young prospect's just going to show. This is going to be his coming out party and show what he's going to be the man up and comer that you're going to want to watch for. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's why I think that's why they're kicking off the card with them, because they think that's what's going to happen. So we'll see.
Hey, Chris?
Well, obviously, I got Matsuda. No, I got Matsuda, not Matsuda, Masuda, Matsuda, beating Koro in this fight, only because of the fact that despite all the names that Kosuke Terashima has fought, I mean, still, you gotta have Takuma win this because of the fact that he's currently on that 6-fight winning streak. And he's currently, since Tatsuya Taiba is in the UFC, Masuda is a prospect on the rise, and people are going to look after him when this fight card's over. What say you, Andrew?
Okay, so I always love a good comeback story. But listen, I'm still, giddy over Okubo on his win for the Bantamweight Grand Prix, and I'm riding this Daisuke Nakamura comeback train. You know what? I'm going to be the odd man out, and I'm going to give Koro the win by submission.
Yeah, Drew's going for the OGs.
Listen, this could be the year of the older generation making its comeback. It really could be.
OG.
Listen, I think maybe Masuda, probably Masuda is going to win, but listen, I don't think it'll be an easy win for him. I think Koro is going to make it a difficult win for him if he does win. And listen, if Terashima can submit you, if you can make one mistake with him, you can be choked out. So you better protect your neck, as they say, and your arm.
Right.
Who knows? But yeah,
I mean, you're from the 5 boroughs, dude, so you should know what protect your neck means.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. But I think the next fight, I don't think the next fight will be a submission win. I'm pretty sure. Chris, you want to take us to the next fight?
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about that next fight. Mamoru Ui Full Swing will take on Kuya Ito. Mamoru Full Swing Ui, 5'7", 134.7 pounds, age 36, represents Don's Gym in Hyogo. Kuya Ito, 5'5", 134.2 pounds, 25 years of age, representing Brave Gym. Oi, 23, 10, and 5. Obviously, he's fought in Rizin before, but he's 1-4 in his last 5. Ito, 2-3 in his last 5, 10-8 and 1 overall. Now, considering the fact that we interviewed him being full swing, what really came to mind off that interview, Andrew?
Well, especially with his win on the first Trigger show, and Jaywolf clearly, I know that he was a big fan of that because that ended in a superior rule set as well. This could be, a comeback for him as well, especially because he lost a whole bunch of things. He lost a grappling match. He lost a kickboxing match. I think, maybe we have a different, a still dangerous but smarter fighter in full swing. He still brawls, but listen, he's not gonna, just leave his chin out there, or just kind of just like he's gonna pick and choose the shots, but the shots he chooses are on target and powerful. What about you, Chris? What was your interpretation from what he was telling us in his interview?
I thought when it came down to the interview that we had with Full Swing and Nakata, right?
Yes, Nakata, which will be uploaded this week, by the way, for those who are wondering, but go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, when it came down to what he was talking about, I mean, you have to think that he's looking for another opportunity to fight in Rizin as far as the numbered shows go. But considering the fact that he's 1-4 in his last 5, I mean, Japan doesn't really care about how many losses you fight. It's about how much heart you got. I really think that if Full Swing loses this fight, his heart may as well be, stumped into a million pieces, because I don't think that he has the heart to come back off this one. But he's got a good fight against somebody that should be an easily winnable fight in Kuya Ito, even though he has the better 500 record. I mean, I do think that this fight is going to be a fight that Full Swing might win.
How about you, Jaywolf? What do you think about this? This is a striker in Full Swing and a wrestler in Kuya Ito. How do you think this fight goes?
Oh, classic striker grappler matchup. I love it. And you know me, I'm riding with Full Swing, baby. I'm glad you brought it up from the first Trigger show, because Full Swing had one of the best KOs of the night that night. And I'll let the fans know that are listening exactly what happened. He had a badass soccer kick KO that was so badass, it opened up the opponent and his blood was leaking immediately and left a giant blood spot on the Rizin Trigger mat that just popped for the whole night. It was so badass. I mean, just imagine that a badass fight was happening, and then the finish of the fight was a badass soccer kick that just cut open the opponent, let him leaking, put a big old blood spot on there. It was so badass, and that was Full Swing that did that. And I cannot wait for Full Swing's fight here. I'm riding with him the whole way, and I'm hoping that he can overcome the wrestling prowess of Ito here and get another badass soccer kick, or what I would like, my favorite is the stomp KOs. I mean, like Drew was saying.
Well, if he does go for a stomp, if it's a ring, if he does go for a stomp, it's a ring. Don't grab the ring ropes.
Yeah.
Don't grab the ring ropes or the cage, depending on what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? They need to give a little bit of leeway to that, because remember, look at Wanderlei Silva's all-time great highlight of him stomping somebody out. He grabbed the rope a little bit on that, remember? And so, I mean, they got to let.
You can tell Wanderlei not to grab that rope. You can tell Wanderlei don't grab that rope. I don't think you are.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying let it go just a little bit, because it's just for them balancing themselves. They're not using it to like get any extra leverage or anything, but. I was so disappointed when they disqualified that stomp KO. It was Kinoshita that got the stomp KO in the first Trigger, and then no contest because he grabbed the cage a little bit.
Disqualification.
It was a disqualification still.
Dude, that's worse because now it's his first loss on his record.
That's an absolute shame, because that was such a fantastic KO. I mean, that was in my book. That's still a KO, because that was the first stomp KO of the new era, and that happened since the almighty Pride FC. That's how badass it was, and they took it away from me because freaking Aoki Corner cried about it. And, maybe Aoki won't be doing some more crying when he faces Sexyama in a few weeks. Who knows?
Question for you, Jaywolf.
Yes.
I know you like grapplers, but I have a question. If Kuya Ito comes to this fight knowing that he cannot get into a striking battle with Full Swing, and he just chooses to wrestle and lay on him, are you going to get angry and throw your remote at the TV?
No. I am an appreciator of grappling. I love the wrestling. I love the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I love the grappling. And, if Ito is able to do that to Full Swing, then that's Full Swing's fault for not being able to counter the grappling and have takedown defense and all that. I mean, I know Full Swing's a striker first, but this is mixed martial arts. You got to have some grappling. You got to be able to have takedown defense. You got to have counter grappling, counter wrestling, counter Brazilian jiu-jitsu, everything. Because grappling is a huge part of this sport. So, I mean, Full Swing's got to be ready for that. He should know that since Ito, this is a classic striker grappler matchup. And I mean, Full Swing is a striker, so he's got to know that that's what Ito's going to do. He's going to come out and try to wrestle him because he doesn't want to strike with him. You don't want to strike with a striker, especially on a superior rule set, especially a striker like Full Swing that has a badass soccer kick KO that freaking bloodied up the mat. I mean, you think Ito wants to have his blood decorating the mat this time? No, of course he's not. He's going to go. He's going to try to wrestle, and Full Swing's got to be prepared for that. He's got to be ready for the takedown defense and everything. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, have you guys seen Ito? Have we seen Ito fight before? Do we know if
he was in the Grand Prix?
Oh, he was. That's right. Okay. So he definitely knows that. So Full Swing better become prepared, or else exactly what you said, Drew, is going to happen. He's going to get wrestled, and but like I said, the superior rule set of Rizin is a game changer. It makes the fighting environment so much more dynamic, even on the ground. Even when a guy's on his back, he can do an up kick like the classic Anderson Silva Yoshinori up kick KO. Remember that from Rumble on the Rock? It was a disqualification on Anderson Silva's record. That up kick KO that is legal in Epic Rizin. So even if Full Swing is taken down and is on his back for most of the fight, he's still going to be dangerous from strikes like up kicks, grounded knees from the bottom, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see, but I mean. I'm riding with Full Swing. Even though you say Ito is, good grappler, I still got to ride with Full Swing. After that, Rizin.
I think we're all unanimous. I think this ends with a Full Swing knockout. I think in the first round. I don't think it makes it beyond the second. I
agree. Full Swing knockout.
First?
Yes, please.
In the first?
I love it.
What, Chris? In the first? Do you think it'll be in the first or the second or third?
It'll probably be within the first 2 rounds. Don't be surprised if it's after the second. I mean, don't be surprised if it's in the second, though.
Listen, most of Full Swings come in the first. And I'll tell you this, if he connects with a punch or, Ito goes in for a takedown and then, boom, knee meets the knee or whatever. I think that's what happened with Austin Vanderford this past week of the Bellator. Musasi fight. I think that's what happened. I don't know, but it's listen.
It was definitely what happened. I seen that shit with my own 2 eyes.
So
Vanderford tried to trade with Musasi on the feet and got lit up, and then he got hit with a little bit of combo that rocked him, and then that's when he went in for the takedown. Remember?
Yeah, but then it looked like Musasi blocked it. He stuffed it, and then. I don't know what happened, but Austin Vanderford kind of just like crumbled. I thought he hit his knee, like his head, his knee going for that takedown, and just kind of like knocked him out.
Well, they were exchanging on the feet, and Musasi got him with a combo that grazed like off the temple right here, off the top, and got him. That's what put Vanderford, had him doing the stanky leg a little bit, and then Musasi went in for the kill and got him. So unless that differently. I don't remember seeing a knee connect, but like what you're talking about is like more like Jorge Masvidal, Ben Askren type of thing, or no, better yet, like Kid Yamamoto, right, where he flies in on Miyata and knocks him out with the knee for the guy going for a takedown, right? That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I always like to say, fights are on the feet, and by that, fights are, I always tend to prefer the strikers, especially, in a company like Rizin where you're allowed to do a lot more. That's why I think this fight's totally in Full Swing's favor in almost every aspect. With that being said, Chris, would you like me to take the kickboxing fight next? The sole lonely kickboxing fight on the show.
Well, yes. I mean, do you have the records for Nadaka's opponent?
I apologize. I thought I was going to take it because I thought I had the records, but unfortunately I do not.
Damn it.
That's okay.
Then I'll go ahead and do it.
Kickboxing records are very wonky, not as detailed as MMA records. But we got the return of Nadaka Yoshinari. You know, after all that drama, he's back and was wearing a nice suit at the Rizin press conference and was said that he's back. So, you know, whatever drama happened between him, Sakagibara, and the whole tension thing for New Year's seems to have been put to pass, and he'll be taking on Yusei Shirahata. Kickboxing match, elbows allowed, as far as I know. And so, simple question. How does Nadaka win this? Because I don't see how Shirahata has any sort of chance. Jaywolf?
Oh, I think I'm absolutely in agreement with you. I think Nadaka is just gonna just maul him. I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know if it's quite a showcase fight for him because I mean I don't know much about kickboxing other than like being like a casual fan about it and tuning in sometimes with the J Kick Cam. But I know Nadaka's a good fighter, and so I don't know about if have we seen his opponent fight before on like Rise or anything?
No.
Well, actually, Shirahata's fought for Rebels and Knockout before, but not Rise.
Okay, Knockout. I know that's a good promotion. I've seen them for sure before. And Rebels, I think that was that with the what was that Korean promotion?
Road FC?
Yeah, Road FC.
No, Rebels is a kickboxing. Rebel, I know what you're thinking. Road FC has Rebels, which is, I think, that's kind of like their young boys, young girls division.
Right. Yes, you're right. Okay. So Rebel kickboxing is that more like a one of those Muay Thai companies?
Well, it's funny you say that because Shirahata is mainly a Muay Thai guy and has won most of his fights in Muay Thai. And listen, he's taking on a guy who's basically defeated every top 112, 100 atom weight pound fighter at Muay Thai in Thailand, by the way. Nadaka's accolades at Lumpini Stadium are like a mountain size. So he's
actually, not only that, he also fought at Ranjitnarm Stadium as well.
Oh yes, that too. And so I mean, this is like you're basically taking on a final Elden Ring boss in Nadaka. You know, for any opponent that fights, if anybody's playing Elden Ring, I hope you get that reference. Jay Chris, what do you think about this fight? I mean, does Shirahata has any sort of chance?
No, he doesn't. Plain and simple, he does not. Because if you think about it, Yoshinori Nadaka or Nadaka Eva Sports is 5'4", 115 pounds of just fury and dynamite in that 21-year-old body of his, compared to Yusei Shirahata, who is about to turn 20 within the next 6 months and represent the Hashimoto Dojo out of Fusa, Tokyo, Japan. But still, point of the matter is, we've seen Nadaka compete before. We've seen Nadaka get a whole bunch of finishes inside the Rizin ring so far. He's actually got 4 in total.
He's finished all of them in brutal fashion.
Yeah, knocking out Yushin, knocking out Pet Malai, Pet Jarnonvit, knocking out Shikai, and knocking out Naoki Ishikawa. He's undefeated in the Rizin ring, and I don't see why Rizin didn't want to bring him back for that New Year's Eve show.
Well, no, because I think he got offered a fight with Tenshin, and he turned it down, saying that there was not enough time to prepare. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks that he got offered that fight. I just want to read a comment here from Jun K. Thank you again, Jun K, for watching us. He says that Yusei Shirahata is 11 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, current knockout red super flyweight champion.
So, thanks again to that listener, man. That guy's got some good info.
It's good, but
compared obviously to Yoshinori Nadaka, who's 39-5 with 23 knockouts.
That's the thing. It's like it's kind of like Nadaka's at a level so above everybody else. It's like Tenshin. He's at a level above everybody else that even the best. He's at such a top level that even somebody who considered number 2 would be like is like skewered to actually they're like number 10 because of just how good the top guy is. Kind of like that.
Basically, what I'm saying is there's Nadaka, and there's Nadaka all the way up here, and everybody else is down here.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Jaywolf, how do you think this? When do you think this fight will be finished, and how do you think it gets finished?
Oh, I think it's a knockout for Nadaka. And thanks to June for telling us about Hiramoto, and he's a flyweight champ of some organization. You said that's pretty cool. So it's not like he's some chump that's facing Nadaka. So it's maybe a good fight. Put up a good little scrap here before Nadaka gets the finish. But I'm guessing it'll be a finish. Obviously not round one because I just don't think it'll be round one. I think it'll be round 2 or 3. He'll get the finish, and it'll be one of those 3 knockdown ones. I don't think it'll be a full on KO. I think it'll be like one of those 3 knockdown rule KOs, technical knockout, basically for Nadaka is what in the 2nd or 3rd round is my guess.
How about you, Chris?
Also, thanks to June K. It was June K. was a commenter, listener that gave us the information, right? He's also knew about the ring or I mean, yeah, that they're using the ring instead of the cage for Landmark, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, June K. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you all the listeners as well. But that was all.
Jay, Chris, what do you think? How do you think this fight goes?
I think this fight is gonna be, well, it's not gonna be that hard to get used to Nakata out of there. I mean, obviously, we're gonna see Nakata get the knockout within the first 2 rounds. Within the first 2 rounds, give or take. But don't be surprised if this fight goes to a decision. Obviously, this is a 3-minute round fight. Shirahata, as June K mentioned, is the knockout red super flyweight champion, which I guess red means young boy division. I don't know, June K, please let us know the difference between the knockout red division and the knockout black division. But still, though, I don't think Shirahata has what it takes to, keep a level pace with Nakata. Oh, he's saying FYI. Yeah, we'll wait. But still, point of the matter is, I don't think that Nadaka is going to be willing. No, I don't even think that Shirahata is going to be willing to, go toe-to-toe with Nadaka because, as I said before, Nadaka's all the way up at the tippy top. And everybody else below him is at the bottom, as we've seen 4 times in Rizin competition.
Well, you never know. That Shirahata is going to be. He's going to want to make his name off of Nadaka, so he's going to want to come and bring it, so he can, if he scores the upset, then he's going to be famous for being the one that dethrones Nadaka. So, I mean, you never know. That's why they booked the fight. So, I'm excited for this because Nadaka, he's put on some exciting fights before, and even though they're tiny, I shouldn't say tiny men, but like they're smaller weight division men. The Daka's he's got some power in those hands. He has finishes on his record. So I mean, this, like Jay Chris said, I don't know if it's going to be in the first or possibly the second, but I don't know if this one's going to go to decision. I know Jay Chris says, don't be surprised if it does go to decision, but I think I kind of will be surprised if it goes to decision because I think the Daka is just that good. So we'll see.
I think first round elbow knockout.
Yes, there we go. Elbow knockout. I love it.
I mean, obviously, it would make sense because elbows are legal in Rizin competition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With that being said, Chris, you want to take us on to the co-main of the show?
Talk about the co-main event. Let's talk about Shoji the Samurai.
Chris, sorry to interrupt. June K says knockout red equals elbow rules. Knockout black, no elbows.
Oh,
that's interesting. It's interesting.
Nice. Thank you again for the awesome info, man. That was awesome.
I guess keep that in mind that Shirahata, being Muay Thai, also knows how to use elbows. So he might know what he's getting into. Just keep that in mind.
Right, of course. And Wakarimasu and arigatou gozaimasu, Jun K. But let's go ahead and let's keep the party going, so to speak.
Sir, it's big rocking.
Yes. And with that, we go to the co-main event of this card, the Samurai Shoji Mauro Yama, who's obviously loving the threads in Rizin, loving the obvious opportunities he's getting in Rizin. He's going to be welcoming Hiroaki Suzuki back into Rizin competition, the General Killer. Mauro Yama, 19, 15-1, 38 years old, 5'7", 144 pounds, representing the Tokatsu Dojo, fighting out of Nabari, Mie, Japan. Suzuki, the General Killer, who's also a top kickboxer as well. 37 years, 3 months old, 5'6", 145, representing Aries Gym, fighting out of Aichi, Japan, with a 1-1 MMA record. Let's just say this for certain. How quick is this fight gonna last for Shoji? I mean, let's face it, because he's got one of the fastest knockouts on record, as we remember. You know, that 4-second knockout he got in Pancrase not too damn long back.
Well, it is interesting also that Shoji has a win over one of the fighters in the co-main, Chihiro Suzuki. So maybe maybe he has maybe his ways to get wins are by fighting people with the name Suzuki. I don't know. I don't think he hasn't fought anybody else with the last name Suzuki. So I don't know. Maybe that's just coincidence. But anyway, regardless, it's interesting that this fight, especially because Suzuki was on the New Year's Eve show, fought Hagiwara. And that was his first loss in that. It's basically it's Suzuki. Suzuki's an interesting fighter because he's been around for a long time doing kickboxing, shoot boxing, all that, and now he's going to the floor with MMA and actually is training at Bonsai. He's a striker for Bonsai, and I guess the trade-off is they teach him grappling. So that's good.
Of course. Then again, we also need to realize that Hiroaki Suzuki is the 2014 Men's S Cup winner in shoot boxing.
Yeah.
And a former Muay Thai Super Series guy for that downed one championship.
Mm-hmm. Jaywolf, what do you think about this fight? Both fighters lost their last matches, and they're both primarily strikers. How do you see this fight going?
I love striker matchups, especially in Epic Rizin with the superior rule set. With the strikes I love the most, soft kicks and stomps. So, and these are both action fighters. Shoji is a proven action fighter, and then Suzuki is a kickboxing striker crossover. So, I mean, this has got fireworks written all over it. I'm just really excited for it. Like I said, like Shoji, we know is an action fighter. We've seen him before. So, I mean, we've seen Suzuki before too. But like you said, both coming off of losses, so they're going to want to bring it. They're going to want to get back in the win column. And that's why Sakakibara's put this as a co-main event, because he knows that these fighters are gunning for it. They want to get back in the win column, so they're going to want to bring it. So I think it's going to be a lot of action this one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping for a lot of pride rules. To be honest with you, I just want to see some awesome grounded knees, some soccer kicks, but my all-time favorite is a flying stomp KO. We have not seen a flying stomp KO yet, and since Pride. So I would like to see that. That's what I would always like to see in a striker matchup. But you never know what's going to happen. But like Drew was saying, I mean, and Jay Chris was saying, since Suzuki is a kickboxing crossover, and Shoji's an action striker fighter, this is going to be a strikers matchup, and it's got the fireworks potential is off the charts for this one. So I'm really looking forward. And I think if my prediction, I'm going to go with Shoji, just more experience and. And what was the gym you said that Suzuki was at again? Bonsai?
Yeah.
Which guy runs Bonsai again?
Satoshi.
And he's a good grappler. So he's been giving.
Basically said he represents Aries Gym, but doesn't he also represent Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu as well, Andrew?
He might do both, for all I know. But my understanding is that he's been mostly doing Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu, mainly, as far as I know.
How to grapple. So they'll be teaching Suzuki some good grappling. So I mean,
I have to make an addendum to that. So in the Hagiwara fight that Hiroaki Suzuki had, the way that Hagiwara won that fight was by grappling Suzuki, and clearly, it was a very boring fight, and it really showed a big hole in Suzuki's game, that his grappling defense is not up to, a lot of, that MMA level. Yes, the striking is great, obviously, but not the defensive grappling. So, Jay Chris, I ask you, do you see if Shoji watches that fight and is like, you know what? Why should I have to strike this guy? Clearly, his grappling defense is crappy. I'm just gonna do that. Would you say that's how this fight could possibly go? Kind of like with Paul Daly and MVP when they had their match.
Don't even get me started about that fight. Wasn't that like a grapple fest?
Yes, because Paul Daly's never had good grappling, and MVP is like, listen, I'm just going to fight him that way because he's never changed his style when it comes to grappling defense and can get taken down by a gust of wind. So I don't know. Even Shoji might just play it safe almost.
Let's just all hope and pray that shit doesn't happen with this fight. Even though, let's face it, Mauro Yama, despite the fact that he's fought names like Jose Aldo and Duho Choi, and obviously fought Rizin veterans like DJ Taiki and Takafumi Otsuka, he is currently 1-2 inside the Rizin ring.
Mhm.
Obviously, Hiroaki Suzuki fought his only 2 fights so far in mixed martial arts in Rizin. But still, though, I just hope this fight. And yeah, I can basically say that Shoji is going to win this fight via knockout, not like the 3-second knockout he got all the way back in November of 2006 against Yuji Miyazaki. 3 seconds. But still, I just hope that this fight does not get taken to the ground and get forced into a long, boring matchup, you know? Like, you basically. I mean, let's just face it now. If you're saying that 2 strikers like this is going to have another damn Paul Daly versus MVP style of fight, then clearly you don't know what you're missing from the superior rule set.
That's right. I was just about to say, Jay Krish, let them know.
I love Soji. Soji's been around for 100 years. Always, who doesn't love like a veteran fighter who still fights exactly the same way he's been fighting since he started?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Shoji is 38 and Hiroaki Suzuki is 37.
It's funny. It's
might be the battle of the damn dinosaurs for all we know.
But the thing is that Suzuki is young in MMA age, so it's weird that Suzuki is. I think it's fair to call him, young in MMA, and I think that kind of is a good thing. We can see a lot out of him. He doesn't seem to have like, at least from the 2 MMA fights he's had, he doesn't seem to have like a very, that kind of like, that face where like you can tell that person's been in like 100 wars. He still seems pretty fresh. Shoji, on the other hand, his face looks like leather, been in some wars. That's not an insult. That's just like an observation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to be odd man out. I like a good comeback story, but I think I'm gonna go with comeback story the other way. I think Suzuki's gonna win this. I think we're gonna see a different Suzuki than we did with the Hagiwara fight. I think actually also the striking will be in Suzuki's favor just because of all that kickboxing and shootboxing experience he has. And I think he's gonna come to this fight much smarter. He's not gonna be taken down if Shoji tries that. And I think he can maybe take more. I think he has a better chin at this level than Shoji does. Shoji's been in some wars, and here's the thing. Even though Shoji can still knock him out, I think that Suzuki's got the power to knock him out faster. Knockout speed, power to knock him out faster.
Oh man, I like that analysis, Drew. That was great. And, just to alleviate the
so we're all
out,
seeing like knockout. I mean, watch this will turn into a grappling fest, probably most likely. They're just gonna lay on each other for 3 rounds.
Well, don't worry. Look, even if it happens like MVP Paul Daly, where 2 strikers turn into a grapple fest. Look, it's different for the Epic Rizin because Jay Krish correctly alluded to it. The superior rule set is a game changer. Okay, and there's gonna be grounded knees allowed, up kicks allowed. I mean, there's all kinds of badass strikes that make the grappling game that much more exciting. It's just the fighting environment is so much more dynamic that even a grapple fest will be exciting. But I don't think it's going to be a grapple. I think Andrew is totally correct. Bonsai Gym, they're known for grappling, and they're probably going to teach, just like with the main event with Ren Hiramoto. They're going to teach those guys are strikers, kickboxing crossover, so they know they're striking. What they've been training is the grappling, the wrestling, takedown defense. So I'm sure that they've been showing Suzuki some moves. So I think Drew might be correct that he's going to have good enough grappling to stay on the feet. That's obviously going to be Shoji's game plan, because the Suzuki is a kickboxing crossover, so he knows he's a striker. So he's going to try, and he saw how Hajiwara beat him. So he's going to try to do the same exact things. He wants to get back in the W column. He's going to try to wrestle him, grapple him. So Suzuki's going to be ready for that. And he's been training.
Also, if you go to the Rizin English Twitter page, they're doing, showing like all the fighters doing things for media and photos. And it looks like Shoji's going to come out to another cool entrance. He's got something planned, it looks like.
Nice.
But will he still come out to that same Nobu Aki Kabuta song he came out to?
Sorry, was that Chris?
Will he still come out to that same song from the Bushido Bulldozer, Nobu Aki Kakuta?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. We'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe, this venue can't get a cage. Maybe they can't do. I have no idea. I have no idea how. I honestly don't know how the production in the atmosphere of this show, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, this is going to be our first landmark show for all of us. So,
yeah, of course.
So yeah, we'll see. If they have entrances, if they have music, if they don't have music or whatever, who knows? I don't even know if they'll have DTRs. Probably, I guess for the main event they will. But
wasn't Lenny Hart tweeting about it? So they're going to have Lenny Hart there, aren't they?
I guess
yeah,
so.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a Rizin show without the full force of the screaming, the scream queen, so to speak.
Right. But you know what? Only 5 fights. I'm guessing that they'll have got there as well. Why would they not have VTRs? I don't think they want to do it like Trigger and just have Trigger was so fast paced with the undercard fights. They didn't have VTRs.
They also, I think that's also I think they definitely have enough footage for all fighters to do something, within their own archives. And I think because a lot of the fighters, for Trigger, I'm pretty sure you can't find, especially the kickboxers, you can't find a lot of footage for those people. So I think now there should be, if that's an issue, there should be no issue like finding footage for all of these fighters on this card.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
We have a comment from Jaywolf. He says last time they had music and entrance as usual for Landmark. So that's okay. Oh, so maybe it'll just be like a numbered show. Oh, just lacking the crowds from what I saw. Did the last show have crowds? I thought the Landmark show had like 20 people or something. Or was it no crowd?
It was in some kind. Can you ask June K a question? That was June K again, giving us awesome info. Ask him what the location was for the first Landmark. It was in some kind of like terminal, like these big columns in the background. Let's see.
June K, if you know, do you happen to know where Landmark Volume 1, where it was, the venue by any chance? Please let us know if you do know that offhand.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So it looks like we will be kind of getting like a numbered show in terms of VTRs, music, and all that stuff. Just obviously not in a big giant arena. So
that's pretty cool. I like
Jaywolf. I know you're a big fan of his, so I'm so happy that we get to finally talk to the main event and the return of your boy.
Oh,
Hiramoto. Chris, I want you to. June K says they had like 20 to 30 around there. Yeah, I remember seeing like just photos and like a few like videos from that show, and it was like only 20, 30 people. No info where the venue was. That's funny. I find that funny. Just like, it's literally like a secret. Like nobody talks about, first rule of Landmark shows. Don't tell anyone where the Landmark shows are. That's literally what this event is.
Brad Pitt would be proud.
But Jay Chris, you want to take us to this awesome main event?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the main event now between two kickboxing stars. making a way into MMA. Chihiro Suzuki, the Iron Spider Chihiro Suzuki, versus Ren Hiramoto. And shit. I'm sorry, I'm fucking up my words here. And I know I'm not even supposed to be. But still, though. The Iron Spider Chihiro Suzuki, 6-3 overall in MMA, of course. He has a damn good kickboxing record. I don't know if we have any info on that. But still, 6-3 from Tokyo, 22 years old, 5'8", 100. He's bulking up for this fight, 150 pounds. 145 pounds for this fight as opposed to 125.2 pounds. He is the Knockout Black 65-kilogram world champion, representing Crosspoint Kichiyoji. As for Ren Hiramoto, he's coming off his first loss, so much so that he's coming off of a brand new, entirely different structure, fighting under the Rufus Sport Camp in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA, by way of Tokyo, Japan. But still, though, he is 0-1 as a mixed martial artist, coming off of getting knocked out by Kyohei Hagiwara last New Year's Eve. But he has a kickboxing record of 11 wins, 4 losses, and 6 of those 11 wins by way of knockout, of which he was a former K1 world title challenger. But still, though, point of the matter is, we got to talk about Ren Hiramoto. We got to talk about the fact that he just came from crazy conditions in Milwaukee just to fight on this card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, Jaywolf, you're his biggest fan. What a craziness has Ren Hiramoto been doing that you can tell us of?
Wait, hey, Christian or Jaywolf? Me.
Jaywolf, I'm sorry. I keep on doing that. Sorry. Jaywolf, you. Tell us about what funny antics you've seen Ren Hiramoto get into.
Ren Hiramoto is hilarious. He's one of the rising up and coming stars. Okay, and that's why the J Kick fan was upset when he left kickboxing, because the dude is clearly a star. I mean, his trash talking is hilarious. I think he was telling what was it like he's gonna retire him and go back to some boring job or whatever. I forget exactly what he said. I can't do it justice because I can't remember exactly what he said. But he releases these funny trash talking videos where he had one where after Hajiwara won a trigger first, he released a video where he had a sign. It was holding up a sign that was saying "fuck Hajiwara," and then I forget, it was like at some like nightclub party or something. It was so funny. And then the newest one that he had, I think it was like Kamaru Usman's camp or something in Nigeria, had a bunch of guys that were doing like it had his picture with like kissing it. It was so funny. Just look at something on Hiramoto's feed. He has some funny stuff. I'm not doing justice. I can't remember the exact words or exact content of it, but just check him out. He has some funny one-liners sometimes and trash. He's just an excellent up-and-coming star. And his first fight with Hajiwara was excellent. I mean, it was action-packed. It was, even in a loss, he still showed a lot of promise. And now he's at Rufus Sport. Is Ben Askren still helping those guys train at Rufus Sport? Do you guys know?
I think he does. I think he's still there, yeah.
Okay, so if he's getting wrestling tips from Ben Askren.
Why not? He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. If I was Rufus Sport, I would be like, dude, you gotta be the wrestling coach.
Absolutely. So he's getting coached by Ben Askren on his wrestling. So he's gonna have even better takedown defense this time, almost guaranteed. Because I guarantee you that's what them guys at Rufus Sport are doing. That's where the Pettis bros are at. The UFC champion Sergio, or ex-UFC champion Sergio Pettis, current Bellator champion Sergio Pettis is at Rufus.
Ex-UFC and WEC champion Anthony Showtime Pettis, current Bellator champion Sergio.
Yeah, and so I mean, those are the guys that Ren Hiramoto's been training with. So he's coming more prepared than ever for this MMA fight. So I just can't wait. And Drew, I'm sure you remember the better than I can the better trash talking. Explain it better to the listeners, because I didn't do it.
I'll read. Before we get into that, Jun K said in terms of where the venue was for Landmark One, he he says he kind of had a feeling that it was in the basement or underground of Tokyo Tower. So
Okay.
maybe
That's
same place this time. Maybe same area or whatever this time. But thank you, Junkei, for that information. We appreciate it. All the information. Unofficial co-host as well, Junkei. I'll call you now. So
you might have to contact him in order to make him an unofficial co-host.
Oh yeah, so Ren Hiramoto during the press conference was telling Chihiro Suzuki, so Suzuki, if you remember when he won his last match against Sora Yamamoto, he kind of very emotional, talks a lot, and he was doing the same thing at the press conference. And so Hiramoto would just basically said, "You talk too much. You need to shut up." And then Suzuki would say, whatever. And then when Hiramoto was given the mic, he just said, "You talk way too much, man. You gotta shut the F up." So yeah, Hiramoto was like basically saying that like this guy's so below me. He's a piece of crap, and like he's gonna easily beat him. I mean, it's interesting. You have two former kickboxers, and now they're going to MMA full time, and it's a.
Well, actually, no. Chihiro's still a kickboxer by heart. I mean, I think he just fought at Knockout not too long ago.
Oh no,
but
he went full into kickboxing for quite a while. Put MMA on the back burner for some time. I don't know why, but he came back to MMA and lost his return fight, and then got his second fight win in Rizin. So it's an interesting dynamic, this fight, in terms of of their MMA prowess. And I'm curious to know if this will even go down to the grounds, or will these two just stand up because that is their bread and butter, is kickboxing, boxing, stand up, striking. Jaywolf, to you, how do you see this fight going? I know you're gonna pick the win, so unless I'm wrong and thinking who I think you're gonna pick, how do you see this fight going?
Oh, you already know I'm riding with Ren in this one. I think he's one of the rising stars. So I think I'm going with him for the win. Hopefully he makes it happen. But I'm agreeing with you. I'm hoping that since these guys are both kickboxing crossovers, they're going to want to strike and prove that they're the better striker, not the other one. And Ren has been training at Rufus Sport with all them killers there, and he's been getting his grappling takedown defense ready. So I mean, he's going to be ready. I think it's going to be a striker's delight fight. There's going to be very little grappling, and it's going to be hopefully ending a knockout viciously, and hopefully by Ren. And I think it's just going to cherry this card, and it's just going to show that Ren is the breakout star that we all thought he was, or that we all know he is. And this is his show. This is his fight to show that right here. And I'm glad that Rizin did not match him up with another grappler like they're doing Bane. I hope they do the same thing with Bane Noah. Yes, that's another kickboxing champion crossover in Epic Rizin. But they matched him up with a guy that was a grappler. And I'm just happy in this one with Ren that they're matching up with a fellow striker, because and then that later on they can match him up with some more grapplers later. But this one right here, this I think is Ren's coming out party to show the world, hey, MMA, you guys better watch out because I'm coming. I'm coming with that.
How about you?
I couldn't have said it better myself, Jaywolf. I could not have said it better myself.
Here's a question I have. With all that information, training Rufus Sport and all that, do you think that Ren, I know you say it's a striker's life, but may we have, could this fight potentially be again an MVP daily thing? Hiramoto,
Don't.
No.
I'm telling you right now, Andrew, do not compare any of these fights under the superior rule set to that shit show that was in England about, 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't.
Well, yeah, I know it is something to think about. If Hiramoto is learning from Ben Askren, and you're learning all this great superior wrestling from this NCAA Division I, I think it's Division I star, and So if you're learning all that, would you not apply it to a fight in a fight where with a guy who probably doesn't have that sort of background and training and possibly even defense?
Maybe that'd be a smart game plan, but I think, well, personally, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that they were focused more on the defensive wrestling and defensive grappling for Ren, like stand-up ability, like when if he gets taken down, be able to get back to his feet and stuffing the takedown and staying on your feet. That's what I'm guessing that they were working on mostly at Rufus Sport, and and maybe they were doing some offensive grappling. So maybe we will see a Ren double leg or something. I don't know, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't see that happening. And like Jay Krish was saying, the superior rule set, anyways, even if it turns into a grapple fest, there's more strikes that are allowed that prevent it'll just prevent it from being a boring grapple fest like you see in the UFC, because the superior rule set it makes some fighting environment so much more dynamic, even on the ground, even in the grappling fest. So. But I don't see that happen. I think it's going to be a striker's delight. I really do. So, and
here's the other question I have for you, Jaywolf, being a big Ren Hiramoto fan. Does Ren Hiramoto have to win this fight? Is it if not, he's 0-2, and big name comes in, a lot of hype. Is this the fight that he has to win?
No, because and this is unique for the Japanese scene. The wins and losses don't matter. It matters what kind of fighting spirit he shows in the fight. If he comes on and puts on an excellent, exciting performance, even if he loses, he's still. It's just not. It's not like. It's just not. It's. I don't know how to explain it right. Maybe Jay Krishna can explain it better than me, but I just don't see it. Even if Ren loses, as long as it's an exciting fight and he puts on and he shows the fighting spirit and he shows he has a good showing. It's still going to be a win for him, even if he loses. So, to answer your question, no, I do not see a loss here being a setback, especially since Ren's he's a kickboxing crossover. So it's expected that he's not going to have like the full, mixed martial arts, technique with grappling and everything. So, like I said, if he loses, like if he gets, like a Paul, like what you're saying, if it's like a Paul Daly MVP scenario where he gets grappled, it's a grapple fest and he loses that way. No, that does not drop his stock at all, because he's a kickboxing crossover. So, I mean, and he'll get more time to get more acclimated to mixed martial arts and the grappling aspect of it, because it is very difficult. It's very difficult. So he'll have a little bit of leeway. Like if he starts getting closer to like 0-5, that's when I would start worrying. You know what I mean? So, no, to answer your question, no, I do not see a loss being a setback. What about you, Jay Krish?
Basically, Jaywolf, what you're saying is, out of all that rambling, is that if he fights worth a damn, he'll get bought back.
That's right. Yes, sir, Jay Krish. You know exactly what's up.
I mean, the Japanese fight fans, they don't care if you win or lose. They only care if you fight worth a damn. And if you do that, you'll get put back.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And you have to agree that this fight is going to be the lone decision of the night. I think that Hiramoto is probably going to win this fight via decision, and I think that this is going to finally kickstart his MMA career off with a purpose, because he's training out of Rufus Sport for one. He's not gonna have his team with Rufus Sport for him for this fight, I don't think, because the international restrictions aren't really. Well, actually, the international restrictions are lifted, but you just might not see any Rufus Sport members there helping him. But still, though, I think that he's gonna kickstart his career. He's gonna win the fight decision, and when it does happen, he's gonna probably be Rizin's future kickboxing to MMA crossover star, something that Tension didn't want to be.
You actually brought up a good point, Jay Chris. As far as I know, no one from Rufus Sport is going to be there. And actually, here's in Japan. I think I think currently he's staying in Japan. As far as I know, if he's not staying in Japan, he's training at Cave Gym as his like Japanese outpost. So he'll have maybe Shintaro, Akira, from people from the Brave Gym in his corner. So he's not going to have anybody from Roof Sport. He's not going to have Duke Rufus. He's not going to have Ben Askren. He's not going to have
either the Pettis brothers.
Yeah, exactly. No Sergio Pettis, no Anthony Pettis. So he's going to have people from Cave on his team. So what do you think about that? Do you think that's also another factor? Do we, I don't know how long he's not been training at Rufus Sports since coming back to Japan, but I mean, I'm going to assume that Rufus Sport is just a better gym than Cave. Not that Cave's a bad gym, but
well, I mean, if you think about it, Rufus Sport is like a damn factory, so to speak, compared to Cave being like a small little bunker.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. And do you think not having the Rufus Sport? Jun K says yes, he is training at Cave, and Ishitari is going to be his second. So he's going to have a great coach in Ishitari there. So, but I wonder if not having Rufus Sport, could that be a detrimental effect on maybe how he fights? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't really see that. I think he went to Rufus Sport to learn the technique and get better trained in the technique, learn from guys like Ben Askren. I think he learned that technique and he's taking it back here to Japan. And now he said he's got Ishitara in his corner. That's a pretty good corner right there as well. So no, I do not see that not having Rufus Sport guys in the corner being a big factor. No.
But before we get our last thoughts on this fight, I gotta show you this guys. So this is from the Rizin. They're doing the press conference pre-fight stuff for the fighters. And
we can't shit, Andrew.
You can't see it? Can you see it? I don't know. Let me see if I can adjust.
You know what? Send us a link.
Oh.
I think I see a little bit of it now.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So actually, let me take out this background and it'll be easier. So I see this, and this CBD liquid looks like something you see out of a cartoon. You know how like some like witch or like Frankenstein thing would like have like, you gotta see this. Look at what that CBD liquid. So Weed Plus is sponsoring this show. I don't know what that stuff looks like. I know Jaywolf, I know you're from California where this stuff is like on every street corner.
Yeah.
Would you ever drink CBD liquid like that ever?
Oh no, that would be those look like bottles of liquor. Those don't look like CBD liquid. But if that's bottles of CBD, that's for like a vape pen.
This is CBD liqueur. It's CBD liqueur.
Oh, it is liquor. So I guess you can drink it.
I think it says that's either 29 or 2.0% alcohol. I don't know. If it's 29%, that's insane. But
basically, I mean, if it's 29% alcohol, not that I would know these things because I'm non-alcoholic, that would be enough to take down a fucking water buffalo.
I hope none of these fighters are drinking this stuff before the fights. Actually, no, that could be interesting. Actually, if they all drink this stuff before the fights, and then they go into a fight just smash on CBD. Also, I like their little tag. Probably can't see it, but it says "Let's chill." I like that little. Nice. I like the little thing by Weed Plus. Plus Weed. I mean, excuse me. CBD liqueur. Oh my God, that just looks.
That is
getting a bottle of that for a birthday or something, and you have to chug that whole thing. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. I was thinking when you were saying a bottle of CBD, I thought you were talking about like to refill like the vape pens or something. I didn't know it was actually a liquor bottle. That's crazy. That's awesome. I kind of want to try that now just because it's a sponsor of this.
Try that because you're out in California.
I don't need to try it. I can just go to the store right now and get it. No problem.
We probably there is maybe Plus Weed exports to California. Check them out. Plus Weed.
At the dispensary, I'll check it out. I'll see if they got
go to your local CBD and say, "Hey, I'm Jaywolf and I love Rizin. Give me all your Plus Weed, Plus Weed CBD liquor." And then Rizin.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, dude.
Then Rizin will get a like this, whatever money from like California, and be like, "Wait, somebody from California just bought all 20 bottles of our sponsor's CBD liquor."
Yeah. That's Jaywolf for sure.
And you know it'll be funny. If you know if they like the CBD business whatever ask why are you buying so much and you just tell them because it's superior. It's the sponsor of the superior rule sets.
Yes, that's exactly what I'll say. You know what's funny? I actually did something like that before, way back in the day when Ronda Rousey was sponsoring the Metro PCS. I went to there and I got a Metro PCS phone because they had a great deal on the unlimited service with data. And when I'm like, I'm getting this because of Ronda Rousey and the UFC, the guy, he didn't even know who that was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn.
Was that before she had the fight with Beth Correa?
No, I don't know when I can't remember exactly when it was. I just know it was whenever she was doing those Metro PCS commercials. That's when it was. I went in there. I'm like, I want the Ronda Rousey deal. So I'm gonna do that with this plus weed. I'm gonna go into the dispensary. I'm gonna go. I want the Epic Rizin plus weed brand. Give me all of it now.
And they're gonna be like, you've had enough weed, sir. Please come back tomorrow. I'll just quickly give. I'll give my.
Obviously, that Ronda Rousey thing must have happened before the Reebocalypse, so to speak. But let's go ahead and close this out by giving our thoughts about this fight card.
I'll just quickly give my thoughts about Hiramoto and Suzuki. I think first round knockout. I think Hiramoto. I think we're going to see striking. We're going to see the striking prowess of Hiramoto in its full effect in this match. And Suzuki's not going to have anything to answer because he's going up against a K1 champion, K1 fighter, all that. So yeah, I know it's 5 fights, but which fight are you looking forward to the most? Jaywolf?
Oh, you already know me. I'm looking forward to the main event with Ren Hiramoto. I'm telling you guys, he is the new Epic rising star for Japan. He's going to be one of the with the Asakura Action Bros. And Kyoji Horiguchi. These guys are just going to take the Japanese mixed martial arts scene to the next level in this new golden era. And that's by far, I cannot wait for that fight. And also the full swing fight. Because I mean, from that first Trigger event, that was the event of the year last year, the first Trigger event. And full swing was part of that. I mean, again, like I said, he had that epic soccer kick KO that just opened up the opponent and put a big giant blood spot on the mat. That just popped. It just looks so awesome. I just can't wait for his fight again to see what he's going to do this time. How he's going to follow that up. But yeah, the main one is the main event with Ren Hiramoto. That's what this card's all about for me. But I can't wait for every fight, to be honest with you.
Jay Chris, before I ask you, I'm also going to ask June K, if you're still here, sir, since you helped us so much, please let us know which fight you're looking forward to the most, if you'd like to. In the meantime, Jay Chris, on to you, sir.
Well, all I can say is outside the main event, which I think we're all going to be looking forward to, I think the fight that I'm most certainly interested in is the co-main event, Mauro Yama versus Suzuki. I just want to see how long that fight lasts.
I had to go with Hiramoto Suzuki. I'm really curious to see this arc where Hiramoto's on right now. He hasn't fought in probably, I think it's a year. I think it's a year to the time that he's fought since he had the Hagiwara match. And I'm really curious to see if he's expanded, if he's, his MMA prowess is better, or if it's not, if it's just the same. I'm really curious, and I think an interesting opponent like Suzuki is a good test for that. He's not someone who's going to.
Ren Hiramoto has not fought since New Year's Eve 2020. Think about how long that is.
That's over a year. That's over a year. So
14 months.
We guys, I'm interested to see where he is now, and Suzuki's a perfect opponent for that. Unofficial co-host of the show, June K, says that he's looking forward to full swing fights. We all are too. I think you, Jaywolf, you're definitely looking forward to that as well.
Sir, you know it.
And Jay Chris, we're all, full swing bandwagon, right?
Yep, especially considering the fact that we interviewed him along with Hirotaka Nakata, which hopefully you'll get that interview up for Sunday's event.
Yep, it'll be up this week. Available for everybody to listen to. And that's Rizin Landmark Volume 2.
And
What
basically saying Ito was representing Brave Jim, recently having a bit of a hard time. So I want Kuya to do his best, but I want to see Full Swing brutally knock him out at the same time.
Yes. Hey, J. Chris, what was the start time again? You said it was 2 a.m. for East Coast?
No, it's not going to be 2 a.m. for the East Coast. It's more like 2 a.m. for your time zone, the Pacific. So, yeah, the event will start at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Pacific, which means 4 a.m. for me. But by that time, I'm probably going to be up after watching anime and dealing with whatever the hell the previous day gives to me. I'm going to be up after listening to music and watching this event on live now. You can buy it for $17, or you can buy the bundle package, including Trigger, for about $20. But still, we hope y'all will join us, and we hope y'all will enjoy some great Rizin action as we head onto the road to bringing foreign, as we head onto the road to Rizin, bringing foreign talent back to the promotion.
Yes.
Now,
Wolf. That's in April. Cannot wait.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jaywolf, can you please shamelessly put yourself over?
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you again for having me on the We Are Rizin podcast, best podcast on the net. We're getting content for the Epic Rizin, not even a freaking mainstream. No, you want us to get this stuff in the mainstream media. They're a joke. This is a hardcore for the hardcores right here, baby. This is the hardcore news. This is so awesome. I just thank you so much for having me on here. Thank you to any of the listeners that are still listening, and all the listeners that did listen, and the fans. Just appreciate you guys so much, and appreciate everybody that supports Epic Rizin, because it is my favorite. With the superior rule set and the pride rules. I just want to say again, pride never die. Pride is Rizin, and follow us all on Twitter. Andrew and Jay Chris, the We Are Rizin podcast, me, Jaywolf, and spelled JAYYOLF1, the same way it's been spelled for decades, going back to the mid 2000s. That's how it's me and not an imposter. And and I just can't wait to be back here with you guys to do another one of these. This is awesome. Thank you again for having me on. Just really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Anytime. And Andrew, they can follow you at Abenja1, ABENJA1, and through the MMA Sucker website, correct?
Correct, sir.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm not Peppermint Patty. You're not Marcy. Don't call me sir. But still, you can follow this show's podcast on Twitter at We Are Rizin Pod. That's WEARERIZINPOD, all in one word. You can follow me on Twitter at ChrisGary92, on Instagram at ChristianGary92, and you can follow Focus Fights on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Focus Fights or at Focus_Fights. We tend to follow the top prospects. No, we check out the best fights in the world. We check out the best prospects in the world. The scenes of the global MMA and kickboxing sphere will be utilized. And also, please feel free to subscribe to both the Focus Fights YouTube channel as well as this YouTube channel, the We Are Rizin YouTube channel, for more great information. And if you want to check out more about the Rizin Fighting Federation, search for them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Subscribe to their damn YouTube channel, or just go to their website, jp.rizinff.com. But other than that, it's been fun. I cannot wait for this Rizin Landmark show and everything that Rizin has to offer for 2022. But until the next time we see you, and I've been wanting to try and get this down for months, for weeks actually, for episodes. But I think Lenny Hart has a little something that she wants to say to all of you enjoying the Rizin Fighting Federation. And that is... And we out. Talk to y'all later.